Well, it looks like the party's over in the markets. Not that, I don't know if any of my viewers in the markets. The only place I was in the markets is in the gold, silver, the oil, the stocks, and that type of stuff. But the party might be going a little bit better for us, versus the opposite of what happened with the equities. But the major media is now saying that the party's over with the equities. I mean, they've been warning that, yeah, the PE ratios are getting kind of off and they're getting pricey. Goldman Sachs was saying that. But at the same time, they're telling you, yeah, it's okay. Keep your money over there, right? They're so full of it, man. They're so full of it. I tell you the truth, people in offices disgust me. Even though I was in that kind of stuff. But I usually stuck in with, like, construction. Construction where, maybe I'm doing the numbers, but I know it's something that is needed for people, even though these are very large projects, some of them. But, you got to see where you're making the money, right? But I know I don't like finance for finance. But anyway, it looks like the party is over, man. And I know, like, I saw something even with Mike Maloney, and I knew about this chart. They were showing that the business starts, more companies are going out of business than new companies coming in the economy. And that trend has actually been accelerating since the bottom of the financial crisis. So where they say the GDP's going up and all people are making money, it's all on the top. It's just going to the top. It's not actually going to the regular people. And those connected, basically the top is those connected to the financial and banking system in the Karl Marx inspired IRS type deal, right? That's all they're about. But I gotta be quite honest on here because I'm not really doing this for, there's other things I could be doing in this, but let me put it this way. I'm being very honest on here for that reason. I'm not playing the fear button like these other clowns are, and I'm not trying to, like, completely knock the United States, although I see there's problems. I know there's more problems going on in Russia and China, and I got to emphasize this ahead of time again, because I'm getting sick of these stupidity of some of the people that naively think, yeah, Russia's kind of going towards capitalism, even China. But that's the game of the overall globalist agenda. And they want you to reject the American system because this is the only freaking way you could actually hammer it to the elite. But nobody does that because you know what you actually got to do? You got to roll up your sleeves. It's just like the same thing where people are desk jockeys. They don't want to freaking get their hands dirty. They don't want to be out there in the hot sun. They don't want to work hard. It's the same kind of analogy. They just want to click a button on and it's fixed, So that's them, Got no respect for those type of worms. But anyway, what I think, well, it's going to be one of two things. Because I keep saying I think September 2015, even though I don't buy this garbage with the astrology, the 4 blood moons, and even the 7-year calendar on the Hebrew calendar, there's been several predictions out that September 2015 is going to be around the middle of the next financial crisis. And I can tell you one thing, silver is going to be going down around that time. But it may go way the hell up before that time because we're sitting on a bunch of powder keg situations in the Middle East and Iraq, in Syria, Iran. I don't even know because it's like the things. It's constantly changing the situation. The administration is actually supporting Iran right now because of ISIS, and the CIA supported ISIS and started them in the first place. Actually, I think the game plan is to create as much turmoil as possible because they're going to cause the Middle East to blow up, and oil prices are going to go up way high in the world. And the United States is going to be the big #1 oil producer with domestic stability, more so than any other country in the world. And the people on the top are going to make a lot of money off of that stuff, selling it to other parts of the world. That's what they're going to do. That's what I think is going on. But I suspect that there's going to be a pump up in silver, gold, and oil. Actually, oil leading the charge, like I've been saying. before this September 2015, middle of the financial crisis. Because if it don't happen soon, it ain't going to happen. Now, I've been hearing this garbage about, the end of the London fix on April 14th. And that means all the derivatives aren't going to be honored and all this kind of... I don't know. I mean, every time anytime I see the silver people, which I don't really consider myself exactly one of them, screaming to the top of the lungs that, this is the end of this, that's the end of that, and all, like the COMEX is going to break. I should bring out those stories from over a year ago. Remember the COMEX was going to break, the COMEX is going to break, and they said that 3 years ago, the COMEX is going to break. I don't trust those guys. They're full of it. Totally. But I do know that silver goes up real fast sometimes and takes everybody by surprise, and it crashes even faster. So it's like I've been repeating that. It's my plan is if it does go up unexpectedly, it's going to go up not because of what's going on in the debt of the United States or the dollar's falling. It's going to go up because what will bring it up fast is tensions in the Middle East. I just don't know, because that damn Middle East is something you just never can predict. If something really crazy happens over there, oil's going way up, therefore gold's going way up, and then silver's going to take off and probably catch up to those two in percentage gains easily. And then it's going to crash even further. It's going to crash a lot faster than it even went up, because if it gets too far ahead of itself, hang it up. It can go up like a rocket. That's what happened the last time, and that's what always happens. Goes up like a rocket, crashes even faster. I already know. See, I don't want to put too many silver videos out anymore because I think this is what's going to happen, and people are just going to get pissed off at me about the debt and all this kind of garbage. I'm going to be arguing with people, wasting my time on this garbage, and I'm going to tell you again that I'm going to say Burger King, have it your way, and I'm going to be selling some of this junk if it goes way up really fast, because I know it's going to come down fast. But I think the final big bubble is going to be later on, and we already got a big hint because the mint up in Canada is minting coins that say $100 Canadian on a face value. If that ain't a hint, something's coming down the pike some years down the road. But they're probably, if it goes up really fast this time, I know they're already going to be saying 100, 200. Say it went like it did in 2010, 2011. It went from like 17 to 47 or 48, like inside of, like basically it started around September 1st. That's when it started taking off. And then what happened? What happened? By September of that year, it was down to 26. That could be the same thing that could happen by 20, maybe not down to 26, but maybe down to 30 something. That could be the same thing that could happen in September 2015. And, they're going to have to wait a few more years for it to go up. But that's kind of like what I'm expecting. And I don't really want to warn people, because they're just going to argue with me and beat me to death over the head for this shit, because they believe what they want to believe, they'll tell me the dollar's going to go to zero. Once it starts going up, there's going to be 1 million people out here getting 100,000 views on YouTube telling you that silver's going up to at least $500 an ounce in no time at all. Once it starts going up, that's what's going to happen. And I ain't going to argue with them. I'm going to say, good, do what the hell you want, because I know those are the suckers I'm going to sell to. That's what I'm going to do. Later, because I'm not going to argue with people on this bullshit anymore, to tell you the truth. Not at all. Not at all. That's why I'm not going to be putting out as many silver videos in the future. I was putting out a lot of them when the price was depressed. Now, hey, like Burger King, have it your way, because what I think, if it don't go up here like in several months, I think it's just going to go crash to a new low. That could be too. That could be too. And I don't have the crystal ball from, but that could be. Because the economy's like showing signs of more stagnation, and they're not doing more QE. PMI looks like garbage. But I'm highly suspecting something in the Middle East. I've been suspecting something from the Middle East last couple of years. But it'll play out. It'll play out. And when it happens, I ain't gonna be afraid to dump some. You know, the adjective is some of the stuff, not all of it. I ain't stupid, because I know that ain't gonna be the final spike. Anyway, over and out. Even Wall Street figures out the party's over. Party's over. You know, the economy isn't doing good, and now the stock market's going to start falling, caving in. We shall see how they react to this deal. Over and out.